2 game weeks left and I'm on course for my best ever FPL finish, and it could come down to a few key decisions. This week I think it could be captaincy. Do I go Bruno Fernandes, Erling Haaland or even Gabriel? We're covering that decision as well as my team selection and transfer plans in today's video. So let's get into this. Welcome back to the FPL Mowgs YouTube channel and welcome to today's team selection video for game week 37. If you enjoy this type of content, drop a like. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and click subscribe. Those two things massively support my channel. We're only 2 weeks till the end of the season now. I'm coming up to the top 100k. After a red arrow last week, I'm still confident I can get this over the line with a really good squad. Of course, last week was a pretty heavy triple captain week for Erling Haaland, which I did not use the chip on because I used it previously on Gabriel. So I'm hoping in the final 2 game weeks I can really push on and get one of my best ever FPL finishes. With the back line, we're kind of starting with this double setup on Brighton here because of the problems we have on the bench, mainly to do with Bournemouth. Bournemouth don't have a good fixture whatsoever, playing Manchester City at home that week, and then Strike of course could be out for the game. I'm not too sure if I like him over Van Hecke. It's hard to pick right now, but with the flag, I'm going Van Hecke and doubling up on Verbruggen and Van Hecke for Brighton this game week. Going away to Leeds is always a hard game in my eyes. I think Leeds are a really good side, but Brighton have looked really impressive and will want to secure a really good European spot for them, actually. It's really impressive the season they've had when you look back on it. So fingers crossed Brighton do quite well this game week. Moving on to Gabriel, though. He genuinely could be my captain this week. Spoiler alert, it's currently on Bruno Fernandes because that's just what's on the graphic, but I genuinely can't decide who to go for. Gabriel, Bruno or Haaland. They're all really good options in my eyes, and I think Gabriel is close to the safest captaincy pick. It's kind of hard to give him that title, but Burnley at home, a chance to really take the title to the final day, and I think Arsenal could do it, but this will be such a big game even though it's just Burnley. Clean sheet looks very, very likely in terms of the percentages we're given in the data. That's a really good set of points for Gabriel already. Could be a great captain for the game week. I suppose we'll talk about it more as we go through the video. Finishing the back line though with O'Reilly. I don't know if he's going to play. I think he should realistically. Of course, the FA Cup final is to take into account, but we just can't tell right now. He didn't play last night for us owners. Neither did Cherki, neither did Haaland. Cherki came on just for a little bit, whereas O'Reilly wasn't in the squad at all. Haaland was on the bench. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Maybe we're given some news that he's actually out or injured, or so, who knows what could happen, but I think he'll be absolutely fine. And still a really good option, even against a really good performing Bournemouth side. But yeah, that's the defence. Let's move now to the midfielders. Starting over with Enzo Fernandez against Spurs at home. It's a good fixture in all honesty, but I do think Spurs have been performing really well in the last few games. I think their intensity could genuinely blow Chelsea out of the water if they're not careful. My problem is with Chelsea assets as well is, sadly, they have an FA Cup final. Could minutes be reduced for the players I own in my squad? Honestly, it's so hard to tell. We're in the same boat with Manchester City assets. Do we just take the risk? Do we just get rid of some of them? Do we bench some of them? It's incredibly hard to say, but I feel as though Enzo Fernandez is a really good Chelsea asset. Obviously, they haven't been doing brilliant, but if anyone's going to do something for Chelsea, it's Enzo Fernandez, it's João Pedro. It's one of those two players, really. Everyone else is kind of just, you could say, on the beach, theoretically. Don't know what Cole Palmer's doing because at this rate I wouldn't take him to the World Cup in all honesty. Moving along though to Tavernier. Now Tavernier's just there for the graphic in today's video because the move I would like to make is really clear and it would let me bench him in my team. So if we look at the squad, obviously Mitoma is on the bench, and if you didn't see his injury, it seems like he could be out for a little while. So Mitoma for me would move to a Declan Rice. Out of all the Arsenal players, he's going to get the most minutes, isn't he? He's going to get DEFCON here and there. I think that's the best way I can use my transfer and spare money this game week. And of course allows me to bench Tavernier. It wouldn't surprise me if Tavernier got something against Manchester City if they rotated. But I feel as though letting me bench Tavernier in this squad is quite beneficial to me. Having that Arsenal player extra for the Burnley at home game could be really big. So yeah, I think doing that transfer is going to be the way I go about things and how I handle having still three Bournemouth players in my side. Moving to Bruno Fernandes, captain. I mean, yeah, it's obvious, but the decision between Gabriel, Bruno Fernandes and Haaland, for me, it's just too close to call. I genuinely don't know who to go for. Maybe I avoid Haaland because the minutes in the FA Cup. Could I also avoid him purely because Marmoush could, start the game and then Haaland? Like, we don't know where that's going to be. They're still in this title race. Anything can happen. Literally anything. Crystal Palace could beat Arsenal on the last day. Burnley could hold Arsenal to it. We don't know. We just don't know. So, for me, Haaland's the riskier one in terms of minutes. Bruno Fernandes is always a safe captain at teams. He's, everything goes through him for United. He's so influential. The assist record is going to be his most likely by the end of the season. And Nottingham Forest isn't a bad fixture. Forest, of course, going to be a bit upset about not getting into the Europa League final. They've not got a lot to play for Forest, I'll be honest, but neither do United, really. They just want to be winning games. Bit of a bounce after Carrick has been announced to stay. Who knows? I think it's a good captaincy option. I think he's got a higher ceiling than Gabriel, even though Gabriel seems to have that safer clean sheet potential. And sort of, you could argue baseline of points. I think Bruno Fernandes just has that higher ceiling this game week. So I think I would end up on him in all honesty. Moving to Cherki, though, it's another thing with the minutes, guys. I just don't know. I really hope that the Manchester City and Chelsea assets I own can pull through with some decent minutes. I do think they will. I don't think it's as big as a deal as I'm making it in today's video, but Cherki's a great asset. Came on, got an assist last night. Really influential player. I enjoy having him in my team right now, even though I sold Semenyo last week to afford that move. It did give me extra money to do the Rice move this week. So, yeah, it's all coming together now, but let's move on to the forward line. Finally, we're kind of looking like this for the forward line. Calvert-Lewin, I don't know whether to bench and play Strike instead of him. It's hard to tell, but penalties, of course, as we've seen against Spurs, and just having a really good season itself. Calvert-Lewin probably deserves to start, even though it is Brighton who he is facing. Spurs at home for João Pedro, again, having a really good season. I do like other players better, but I do think he is a decent FPL asset to own. Spurs at home, Sunderland away his last two fixtures. It's not the case we need to get rid of them at all and buy someone like a Thiago who has worse fixtures. I think it's absolutely fine with these two. And of course, the obvious Erling Haaland. Like I said, I just don't know about captaining him this game week. Bournemouth are a good team. Still playing for stuff. Of course, City still playing for stuff. But the FA Cup game, the minutes, the fact he didn't play at all last night, I genuinely don't know how to feel about it. So for me, the top two captains this game week in my side would be Bruno Fernandes and Gabriel. Then if we, of course, move to this here with the move of Declan Rice, does Declan Rice then come into that conversation about captaincy, especially with corners, whipping them in against Burnley? I genuinely think he could be, but Bruno Fernandes feels like he has a much higher ceiling. Gabriel feels like a much safer captaincy than Declan Rice, getting more points for the clean sheet. So, yeah, I feel as though that's how I'd play, game week 37. If we look at the last game week, I think it would be pretty easy to kind of guess what I would do with the side. Benching players against West Ham. Would I play Forest Petrovic over Verbruggen? Most likely, because Forest are safe. Who has the good fixtures at the end? I can't remember who it was. Was it? No, it was Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool. That's what I was looking at. Yeah, perhaps I could move to a Dominic Szoboszlai in the last game for one of these midfielders. And see if I can play with that. But across the board, the team looks fine in game week 38. Game week 37 to talking points. Declan Rice most likely coming in on my side. And I think it's a really decent team for game week 37. I don't think it's bad at all. Rice coming in for Tavernier. Some pretty good fixtures all around. It's just kind of dealing with the Mitoma injury, who's probably not going to be featured at all. And then Strike, who's got that slight knock. How do we manage him now? But yeah, I think the team's absolutely solid. Let me know what you think in the comments. And of course, drop all of your FPL questions in the comment section. I reply to every single one. Remember though, the deadline is tomorrow. Tomorrow is the FPL deadline, and I will be doing my normal deadline stream from 4:30 and 5 p.m. start time. So look out for that on this channel tomorrow, where I'll be answering all of your FPL questions and getting you ready for the deadline. Of course, if you enjoyed this video today, though, make sure you drop the like. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, click subscribe for future FPL content and FPL streams. But that is everything for today's video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.